All right, welcome to part 2 of our flight from Anchorage, Alaska to Walla Walla, Washington. Kilo Alpha Lima Whiskey, KALW. Just descending through 17,700 feet right now. Flew at 45,000 feet on this flight.
Transition altitude. Nearest altimeter 3027.
Nearest altimeter as we pass beneath 18,000 described as 3027. We'll see how accurate that is in the sim. We'll synchronize 3043. Not bad. Currently 58 nautical miles from the airport. Gave a estimated arrival time of 6:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's currently 6:08 Pacific Standard Time. We'll see how close we come to that 6:26 arrival time estimate. Zulu time 0208. Again, landing at Walla Walla, Washington on the actually originally planned for the RNAV approach to runway 20, but I discovered that there is an ILS approach to that runway. So we've already programmed in the ILS frequency of 111.7 and the VOR DME frequency of the transmitter at Walla Walla of 116.4. So we're good. Have our stuff already inputted. We'll go ahead and input our minimums of 1,400 feet, barometric minimums, 1,400 feet. Runway 20 is 6,500 feet long, 6,527 feet long. So I've been spoiled lately landing in some of these 13,000 foot long runways. So this could be more of an interesting challenge. I have landed on the runways of this length in the Longitude, but still always more challenging. Airport elevation 1,194 feet. Approach course to runway 20 is 196. As far as our approach path goes, here it is. You see, we hang a right turn in terms of relevant waypoints. Kosov, COSUV, we need to be at 3,200 feet according to the published approach plate. Wacky, we need to be at 2,420 feet according to the published approach plate. So, looking good right now, showing 40 miles from the airport, 13,000 feet. It's just about where we want to be. Expect to be at 12,000 feet at 45 nautical miles right now, so we'll shallow out that descent rate just a bit. Not much in the way of terrain between us and the airport. There is a pretty significant mountain range just to the east. Let's turn on isoline mapping. This. But no plans to fly that far east. Started our takeoff roll 3 hours, 2 minutes, 42 seconds ago. I mentioned we programmed in the VOR DME frequency into nav2, and then put that over using bearing 2 set to nav2. You can now see that we are 33.8 nautical miles from the airport if we were flying straight there, which we are not. We begin slowing here because we are about to descend below 10,000. And you can't be faster than 250 knots below 10,000 feet. So we set our speed control right here. Selected airspeed to 250. Showing just 8 minutes from the airport. Probably more like 10 or 11 once we begin additional slowing. Let's zoom in here a little bit on the MFD. Set it at 20 mile range. probably not yet within range of the ILS transmitter. We're 36 miles from our destination on this route. 28 miles from the airport itself. We can go ahead and set our bearing 1, which is currently set to GPS, so that's telling us our distance to the next waypoint. We'll set bearing 1 to nav 1, and let's see if we get any ILS data. Well, it is receiving the transmitter, but we're not getting any DME information. But you see how it says IALW, India Alpha Lima Whiskey? So it is receiving that transmission. We're just not getting any distance information. Probably moot, since the VOR DME is at the airport. We already know how far we are from the airport itself. Weather in Walla Walla this morning, or excuse me, this evening. Chilly, 27 degrees. The National Weather Service has issued a freezing fog advisory. To keep a sharp eye out on that. We'll see if the weather in the sim is, close to that or not. Visibility very limited, described as quarter-mile visibility. But with an ILS approach, that should be of some use. Continue slowing. Continue to get that annoying landing gear alert. If we throttle back too much, again, the airplane thinks that the autopilot thinks that we're just about to land, and it wants to know why we don't have our landing gear down. You can kind of address it by not decelerating too aggressively. Or in the alternative, using your speed brakes. Like that. Continue slowing. 200 knots now. 7,700 feet. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and employ the speed brakes now and slow us down to 180. Continue to expect to hear that alert. Oh, brother. This thing's going to be the death of me, I swear to God. Set it at 175. Don't worry, everything is normal, despite the sim's best attempts to make it not. See some red lights out there, probably wind turbines. 170 now. Altitude looks good. We're 24 miles from the airport. We're at 6,900 feet. Yep. Remember my standard rule of thumb: 10 miles 3,000, 20 miles 6,000. Obviously, keeping in mind the terrain. Turn off our bank angle limiter and get ready for that right turn. Slow to 165. Looking good. Once we make that right turn, I will switch the nav source from FMS to nav 1, and hopefully we'll get data on that ILS approach. Although this claim of haze and freezing fog doesn't really seem to be an issue, because I've got good visibility. And if you note the air pressure, 30.43 is a number that's generally consistent with clear weather. Getting ready to make that right turn. We'll shallow out our descent rate just a bit here more. These waypoints, the distance between Wacky and the airport, excuse me. Sorry, I sneezed. Distance between Wacky and the airport is 3.7 nautical miles. Distance between Kosovo and Wacky is 2.4 nautical miles. So we're looking good. Continue slowing. Do 1 notch of flaps now. looking good. Getting ready for that right turn. Here it comes. Airspeed's responding nicely, maintaining 168. Even though I set it at 160, it's important to keep that in mind. Set 155. And we'll refrain from another notch of flaps until we make that right turn. Just about to start that turn now. I see they still haven't fixed the highway lights. It still looks silly. I don't know any rural highway that looks like this. What are you going to do? Okay, airspeed's 163. 4,200 feet. 14 miles from the airport. Shallow out our descent rate even more. Probably want to be at about 4,500 feet. No lower than 4,500 feet at 15 miles. And remember, this airport's not at sea level. It's about 1,100 feet. There's somebody out there. Not a problem for us, however. Should be making that. There's that right turn. Beautiful. Once we finish that right turn, we will put our gear down. Radio altimeter is showing us at just 1,900 feet above ground level, so we know there's no mountainous terrain or anything like that to be concerned with, however. Now that we're turning final, go ahead and activate nav 1. See what happens. There it is. Beautiful. Go ahead and press APPR. Wait for that glide slope to turn green, showing us below the glide slope, as I would expect. There's that green diamond. This green line right here, the CDI course deviation indicator, will drift left as we line up. Looking good, though. We'll go ahead and put our gear down. Another notch of flaps. All lined up beautifully. Winds are pretty mild, 4 knots. Out of the, well, from our current position out of the southeast, but the winds at the airport are reported as I recall, south-southwest at 2 miles per hour, which works for me. Okay, good. Our altitude's looking good. This is coming down. This green diamond's drifting down. That'll turn the, oops, excuse me. That'll turn the white GS green as it intercepts the glide slope. We're perfect right now on the localizer. Do one last notch of flaps. Keep our selected airspeed at 150. Auto throttle responding appropriately. Zoom in here just a little bit. There we go. One more notch. There we go. All right, let's see. Let's see. I do not have the airport in sight. That's unusual. Well, maybe they are modeling the weather correctly. The nice part about being on the glide slope and flying by instruments is that I don't have to do anything. I'm not, in terms of, panicking because I can't see the runway lights or whatever. Speaking of runway lights, I'm going to turn on our landing lights. And by that I mean we are flying precisely the published ILS approach for runway 20 at Walla Walla. So it takes the guesswork out of it, Imagine doing this without being able to understand or utilize the instrument features. I mean, it'd be impossible, right? I am actually kind of happy that I can't see the runway because that means that the weather's consistent with the real life weather. We're spot on the glide slope right now, nailing it, just perfect. Airspeed's perfect, 153. Flaps full, geared down. So, aha! I see something. I see the rabbit. This is excellent news. Okay, 4 miles. About to hit 500, so we're deactivate our auto throttle. Gonna remain popped up in the seat intentionally here. Ooh, ice. That's no good.
500.
Yowzers. 500 AGL. I'm still looking. Wow. Well, our minimums are 1400. We're at 1900 right now, so steady, steady, steady. 500 AGL. Still no runway in sight. Jesus. This is wild. Aha, I got the rabbit again. Autopilot disengaged.
Autopilot.
Oh my god. It's as close to minimums as I've come. Wow. That was intense, dude. Jesus. Oof, ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoops. Floated. Damn it. Come on, let's get on the ground. I'm gonna have to stick this one, guys. Oof. Put those spoilers up. Oh my god, damn it. Oh my goodness, guys. That was scary. That was like legitimately scary. Okay, let's get off this runway, please, God. Whew, man, alive, that was intense. That was, hey, they modeled the weather perfectly because you were there, man. I didn't see anything. Nothing. Wow. That was crazy. Oh my god, I need to... Let's just stop for a second. We'll go outside. Can't really see anything, but... No, I can't see shit. Let's bring our spoilers in. You can kind of see the spoilers silhouetted there against the building. Let's bring those in. There we go. Bring in our flaps. Okay. Back inside. Switch over to taxis. That may have been one of the closest landings to minimums I've ever done. I mean, no joke. I didn't see squat. Caught a little glimpse of the rabbit there, I mentioned it, and then nothing until we were just above the threshold. I mean, right above the piano keys. And we were coming in, and I felt like we were going to plant it a little more aggressively than I wanted to, so I kind of pulled back on that stick just a little bit too aggressively, and we floated. But of course, floating around in the back of my mind is the fact that this is a 6,200 foot runway, so we gotta get this bird on the ground within the markers, or we're gonna have to do a missed approach. So happily it worked out. By the way, current time 6:26. Probably touched down about 6:25, if I'm guessing. That was really wild. I mean, that was a very, very challenging landing. But it worked out, so I'm not complaining. Let's get over to parking, now that everything ended well. I mean, they modeled the weather was perfect. Dude, I mean, they said frozen fog advisory from the National Weather Service, and you saw icing. I saw icing start to appear on the windshield at 600 AGL. I mean, seriously? And I tell you, after that landing, I need a cocktail. Staying at the Fresh and Clean downtown Walla Walla Hotel. Apparently a nice place. At least that's what I hear. There's appears to be a vehicle in the taxiway in front of us, which we're going to drive right through. Yep. A police car, no less. That's funny. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we get cooperation from the ground crew today, or if they want to have me do some goofy approach into the parking slot. I'm looking for our... Man, it is a dark night up here. I'm looking for our... Where is he? I don't see him. Oh, well, no, I don't know. Let's just follow the arrows. Should be, in theory, plausible. Man, I can't see diddly. We're going to turn here. Okay. Look for those flashlights. Come on, pal. Where are they? Alright, you see they're telling me here to turn to the left and pull in, so we may or may not have flashlights today. Oh yeah, I think we do, actually. Try not to hit that fuel truck. There, I think I see him. There he is. There we go. Come on. Get on in. There you go. Boom. Done. Man. Parking brake. Let's kill one engine just to make sure we don't drop to the logbook page. They've made some changes to how the logbook works, I read, but I don't want to take any chances. Turn off taxis. Sorry, pal, didn't mean to blind you. Actually, let's look outside before we call it a night. Now, those are some bright lights. There I am. Who is that in the co-pilot seat? Boy, that lighting's beautiful. Jesus, look at that light right there. Looks so real. Okay, here we are in Walla Walla. And let's just do our final shutdown. Let's turn off the anti-icing equipment. Now that we certainly don't need it anymore. G-Presh. And I think... Oh, a start bar timer. 3:22. Good. Look at that ice. Look at it. As soon as I turned off the anti-icing equipment. No way! Wow, it is a cold night up here in Walla Walla, friends. Oh, jeez. Well, that confirms for me that I did not imagine that ice appearing on the windshield. Oh, it's great. Okay, well, we made it. Let's see if turning this off sends us to the logbook page. Yeah, it does. All right, friends, that's it. Welcome to Walla Walla. We'll see where we head next.